now, why don't you chill out? Hello, and welcome. I'm Jason Mink, and I'll be your curmudgeon. I was just telling this guy where to get off. You know what I'm saying? These action figures, they come into your life, pretty soon they think they're running the whole operation. All right, well, you stay right there. I can keep an eye on you. Thank you for joining us on this, our second episode of Craftin Curmudgeons, and what we're doing today, well, kind of like what we did in the first episode. We're kit bashing some Migos. We hope to focus in the future on building some sets. We want to build some environments for these characters, but, well, I don't have the stuff for that right now. So at the moment, we're going to work with what we have, and what we have, well, some pretty good stuff, I gotta say. Right off the bat, we have Classic TV Toys, Figures Toy Company, Batman 66 Villains. That's right. This is Mr. Freeze, the troublemaker from the beginning of the video. As you can see, he's bad news for sure. And then we have Shame, and he's got a little horsey with him. You know, following the Western motif, you know, he was your typical cowboy-based villain. You know, DC was pretty off the wall as far as that kind of thing goes. They've had a number of them, actually. And then Mr. Freeze, well, he's just Mr. Freeze. My buddy was asking, why doesn't he have a gun? You know, I assume that this guy freezes you with, you know, acerbic comment. You know, he looks pretty snarky when it comes right down to it. It's a great head sculpt, and, you know, the outfit seems pretty spot on. It's on your typical crappy Figures Toy Company body, but, you know, we'll do our best to work with that. What else do we have? We have Grandpa Munster. Here he is, and he's from Classic TV Toys as well. This one came out, a long time ago. And I have no interest in collecting the whole Munster set. You know, more of an Addams Family guy myself. But when it comes right down to it, I figured the costume was pretty good for a generic vampire. And what would I do for a head as far as that goes? Well, I have this eraser here. I've had it forever, never knew what to do with it, and it's a rather corpulent-looking bloodsucker, but it would actually fit very nicely on this body. So, you know, create kind of like a knockoff 1970s Count Yorga-esque character. And then we have a Frankenstein monster. What are we going to do with this guy? Well, stay tuned. Okay, we've got the figures out of the package, and in a way, I hate to do anything to either of these guys because they're much nicer than I thought. Now that they're free of their plastic clamshells, I can appreciate just what they each bring to the table. Now, Frankenstein here is probably the third version of the character that Mego produced. This one came out in 2019. They had originally done one in a sort of, you know, typical Universal Monsters style green outfit, you know, green jacket, green shirt, you know, and it wasn't the most inspired of looks. And then they did a glow-in-the-dark version, and then there's this fella right here, and, you know, sun's out, guns out, I guess. And he comes with this wonderful chain and some additional scarring, which I thought might be appropriate for, whatever project we were doing. But, you know, he's a couple years old, but his joints still seem nice and tight. Here's Grandpa, and he's looking pretty good as well, I gotta say. Now, not all of these figures look this good. I think that Classic TV Toys, they put all their money here because his costume, very, very nice, from, you know, his tuxedo pants, his shirt and vest, and even his little crucifix here on a ribbon. Guess he was Jewish? I think Al Lewis was, so that's kind of a funny joke when it comes right down to it. So we're going to break these figures down, and we're going to go from there. All right, some time has passed, but we've come back with not one, not two, but 3 big customs. And our first one is Frankenstein in space. That's right. The idea for this guy is that at the end of World War II, American forces rolled in, and amongst all of the Nazis' plundered goods and treasures, they discovered the legendary Frankenstein monster. And they figured, hey, if we're taking all these rocket scientists back to America, we might as well take someone to fly the rocket as well. And who better than, someone who's already dead? Or is he undead? I'm not really sure where it comes down. But, we were going for that 1960s, Roger Corman type flick, really on the cheap side as befitting the concept. It's a pretty corny concept. And indeed, there very well may be a Frankenstein in space movie that I saw late one night, and I'm just channeling it. But, that's what I was thinking would be kind of fun for this take on the character. Like I said, I have a number of different Frankies, so I wanted to mix it up a little bit. This one is wearing the jumpsuit, as you would expect from a, 1960s sci-fi film, and it's fancied up with a little bit of gaffer tape there, some shiny stuff to make it look futuristic. I used a tea bag here on the cuffs to give it that ribbed look, very Starfleet. And I didn't mean to use quite as much of the Mr. Freeze gear, but in the end, well, it just sort of worked out, with the paint job and the addition of a little zap gun and some goggles, and Frankenstein in space. He's ready, for just about anything. So we'll put him right there. You thought I was going to make a Uranus joke, didn't you? For shame. Not here. And next up, we've got that fat little vampire, Sikorsky. And I got to say, this guy gave me all kinds of trouble. Absolutely. That's the thing. That was definitely an eraser, made to eraser standards. The proportions pretty wacky. The eyes really super wonky. A real challenge to get them painted. And, the head might still be just a little bit too big for the body. But I think it gives him that sort of Rankin Bass Mad Monster Party sort of vibe. Now, I wasn't sure about this guy until I listened to Zappa and put eyebrows on it. And while it's a small thing, it's the small things that give your customs their unique vibe and personality. A little felt goes a long way, helping this guy stand out in any flock of bloodsuckers. From the pencil top to the knockoff Migo body, you've come a long way, baby. And like I said, we ended up making a third custom. Pretty happy with the way he came out, as is Ralph. Ralph has been our fashion designer, and he's been doing some fantastic work here. There you go, Ralph. Pet the horsey. Okay. I kept looking at that Mr. Freeze head, and I thought there's something there. I whited out the eyes as a preliminary step, and well, we were pretty much there. He's a George Romero zombie, at least, in the offing. So I took the Frankenstein pants, I gave him a nice dirty wash, the jacket from the Mask of the Red Death that we used in the previous episode, and gave this guy some new hands, courtesy of the Diamond Select Thor. These work really nicely for grabbing stuff. And here we have it. I've been meaning to make some Romero-style zombies. It's not that I don't like the Walking Dead sort of thing. Gore doesn't faze me, but I like the clean, streamlined look of a Savini zombie. I could have splattered this guy with blood or something, but in the end, I'm happy with him just the way he is. Makes him more versatile when it comes right down to it. He hasn't eaten yet. Okay, well, thank you for joining us on this episode of Craftin' Curmudgeons. I've been your curmudgeon, Jason Mink. If you tuned in looking for having a drink with Mink, don't worry. It'll be back next week. It always is. All right. Well, from all of us to all of you, cheers.